Welcome to another episode of Marvel Man 901. So today I'm going to talk about Solo, Web of Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, Nightwatch, and Aquaman. So I'm going to start off with Solo, whose real name is actually James Bourne. So he was introduced in Web of Spider-Man issue 19 and has basically been a anti-terrorist vigilante, very much like the Punisher himself. The difference is naturally that he can teleport and he basically focuses just on terrorism, while Punisher basically goes against anyone bad. His origins is actually told in his own limited series from 1994, Solo issue 1, where it's basically explained that he joined the army, was very good, excelled very quickly, and then was basically placed inside a special unit at NATO. Basically a unit where the soldiers had basically been implanted with a chip that can basically make them teleport behind enemy lines and take care of special terrorist threats. Now, on one of their missions, their leader, the team leader anyway, called Gant, basically betrayed the entire NATO thing here, the whole anti-terrorism thing, and basically recruited all of the soldiers over to his own terrorist group known as Ares. The only person who actually refused, was James Bourne, who was then shot, and in his own mind, that's when Solo was born. So basically Solo uses lethal force, like I said, is very much like Punisher in that way, and the whole teleportation thing and all that, but basically he fights terrorism. So he fights Ares most of all, but Ultimatum and other stuff as well. So we're gonna go to Web of Spider-Man, issue 114 from 1994. This is the second part of Live and Let Die, where in the previous issue a person had stolen the highly advanced facade armor, and Lance Bannon had naturally snapped a pic of this. After Lance got out of the hospital, after he had been assaulted by the facade guy, he basically continued to try to develop the pictures that he had taken, and when he actually got to see who it actually was on the negatives, he was actually killed by facade. Naturally just killed, which is very surprising considering the fact that he's a fairly big character, and just to die that way is surprising and shocking. He died, and naturally this is very sad for everyone at the Daily Bugle, and two of the suspects was actually the ones who were supposed to be in the building at the time, which was J. Jonah Jameson and a kid who was basically following or shadowing Lance Bannon, basically having him as a mentor at the time. Apparently this journalist case had been moved to Betty Brant. And the guy in the facade armor knew this as well, as he went to the Daily Bugle to kill her as well. However, Spider-Man actually intercepted him and basically moved him to another place, to the printing press room, basically, where these two characters fought, and Spider-Man was beaten by Facade. However, he didn't naturally die, but he was, like I said, beaten, and Facade basically escaped. The next issue I'm going to talk about is from 1965, which is Amazing Spider-Man issue 29. So in this issue, Scorpion escapes prison and basically wanting revenge on J. Jonah Jameson, basically putting him in this position. However, Spider-Man once again comes in to save the day, basically fights Scorpion, brings the fight over to the harbor, and then defeats him. So we're going to go to Nightwatch issue 4 from 1994 now. In the previous issue, Nightwatch fought basically a mechanical thing called the Mechamorph, which apparently basically swallowed him. Apparently this Mechamorph had been constructed by Vandal, kind of technological guy, who had basically been hired by Guantlet. Now this Mechamorph thing is supposed to basically break out Guantlet from prison. However, Nightwatch basically busted out of the Mechamorph as the breakout was happening. Guantlet got away though, and he met Vandal, who basically just wanted payment for his services. But Guantlet basically said, give me another Guantlet and I'll basically make sure that I have money for you. Warrant was actually on the case as well, having kind of a bounty hunting case to basically bring Guantlet in. So he showed up at the same place, fought him, and then Nightwatch comes along as well. Both Nightwatch and Warrant basically fight alongside each other to fight Guantlet, but the building that they're inside is basically breaking down and tumbling down. So Nightwatch had to basically save two civilians who happened to be inside, and both Warrant and Guantlet had the building basically fall down upon them. Now Guantlet managed to basically get out of the rubbles, but Nightwatch comes along and basically defeats him. Okay, so we're gonna go to DC's Aquaman now, issue 24 from 1965. So this issue is one of the little bit weirder issues actually. So basically Fisherman, a character whose actually first introduction here is Karla, and the Unthing fights Aquaman and Mera, and apparently these three actually had been hired by some alien race to basically steal kill all the water on Earth. Apparently the aliens were basically highly allergic or something like that to water, and as the villains basically failed, as they were beaten by Mera and Aquaman, the aliens naturally couldn't invade Earth. Alright, so that's it for today. Hope you've enjoyed. Naturally, this is Marvel's and DC's creations. I'm telling the story. Do subscribe and share this if you like this. Have a good day.